Hello Webtonet and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Talk. Let's Talk. And as you can see, we're starting off with some Dead by Daylight, and automatically my game is glitched and I can't walk through an open door. So this is going to go well. Oh, it's a swamp and the killer's right there. Oh look, it's the trapper. I've been hit already. I hate this game.
Oh, I've got a new part on my toolbox and it's giving me a skill check every 2 seconds.
Nice.
It's very scary, I do not like it.
Well, I'm down, so we're off to a great start. Fabulous. But so this week, Jamie, I thought we'd have a little chat about a conversation that I'm sure you'll love. And that is The Sims.
The Sims.
The Sims. Big gaming franchise. I'm sure a lot of people know it. For anyone who doesn't know it, then, you know, either you've been hiding from the gaming world exceedingly well, or, you know, maybe you're only about 3 years old by this point, in which case you probably shouldn't be watching this, this channel. But, you know, who am I to judge? No, leave me alone! Oh my god! So, The Sims is a life simulation video game, you know, series developed by EA Maxis, and it's published by Electronic Arts. The franchise, to date, has sold nearly 200 million copies worldwide, and is one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time.
That's because it's the best.
I'm talking all time, you know, not half time. I'm talking all time. So, you know, the entirety of time. So, I'm now dead because this guy won't leave me alone, and this sucks. I hate this game more than anything in the world right now. But, you know, back onto The Sims. The series was originally developed by Maxis before the transition to the Sims Studio between 2006 and 2008. And then the Sims Studio later reintegrated into the refreshed EA Maxis label in 2012, where it continues to be developed by both teams. So that's really all the history I kind of dug up on the actual Sims franchise. I thought this one would be a bit more of a conversational one where just talking about stuff, you know. So I thought mainly we'd go through the core Sims games, the main ones. We're not going to touch on anything like Sim City or anything like that today, because otherwise we'll be here till the end of time.
Yeah.
You know, the all time, not half of it, the whole of it. But so I suppose let's start from the beginning. Take your mind back, people of the Webtonet, to the year 2000.
Oh, so long ago.
A long time ago now, although I forget how long ago it actually is. 17 years. That's quite a long time. Like, I never think about the year 2000 being that long ago, but it is. And actually, this is when the original Sims game was released for Microsoft Windows. I personally thought it was before the year 2000, but it was not. But hey ho. And so... yeah, this game used isometric projection and features for the open-ended simulation of just daily activities, pretty much. For anyone who doesn't know what sort of isometric is, it's where you sort of got your top-down view, and it's quite often done in squares, like movement and everything is quite often done in squares. Think back to sort of games like Diablo, Theme Hospital, that kind of thing, the original Fallout series.
I used to love Theme Hospital.
Theme Hospital was a great game, but maybe we'll leave that one for another day, because that was a good game. So, Jamie, now, I'm not a big Sims player. I never have been, really. I've never owned a Sims game. Personally, I've borrowed games, but I've never owned one. So, I'm relying on you a little bit here. Tell me, The Sims, do you remember it?
Yes, of course.
And tell me a little bit about it.
Best game ever.
Best game ever.
Yeah.
That's a
where
bold,
you
that's a bold
create your
statement.
families and you live out their lives.
Yeah. And is it literally just as simple a premise as that?
Yep.
Like nothing more, nothing less.
Nope.
That's fair enough. So what kind of stuff could you do in it? Like I know you say live out your lives, but like in what kind of way?
Well, you can see like your Sims age up. You can have babies and get married.
And was this all in the original Sims? Like I'm talking the original Sims. Would they age in the originals?
I think, yeah, because you could have a baby. I mean, it was very simple, but you could have a baby, and then that baby would magically age up to a child, and then I believe just then magically age up into an adult.
Nice. So it was a very basic sort of 3-stage kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair enough. And sort of, was it a lot of jobs that you could do?
In the very beginning, I don't think so. I think there was maybe 6 different jobs, if that.
Nice. Nice. Did you have a favourite job? If you remember at all, this was 17 years ago now.
See, I mean, you always get similar kinds of jobs, like you have your journalism. Ah, the game ended.
That was weird. He must have left.
Yeah. Well, just quickly then, before we jump into the next game, you'd have like your journalism career, your athletic, and all of that. But, I mean, I didn't really have a favourite because the jobs they just go off and do, so you didn't really have a part in it.
That's fair enough.
It wasn't that interesting, to be honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Because, I mean, obviously the first game, it was, I can imagine it was fairly simple compared to what it is now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, but we'll jump into another game, and we'll continue with having a chat about The Sims 2. So, see you in literally like less than a second. And we're back, people. Lovely people. Here we are back. Right, let's see if we can have a better game than that one, because Hillbilly.
Oh, Hillbilly.
So The Sims 2. Now, I remember The Sims 2. This was one I borrowed off a mate for quite a while.
Yep.
And I actually borrowed it on PS2. Because this was released in 2004. And it was released on various consoles, including the PC, PS2, and a couple of others, I think. And this one actually takes place in a full 3D environment instead of the dimetric projection that the first one had.
Yeah.
So it was a real overhaul on the graphics.
Yeah, it was such a jump.
It was massive. But I remember enjoying this game. I remember it feeling like it almost had a bit more of a story to it as well when I played it. Because I remember you'd start off with nothing. But also I remember it actually this was the first one where you could like travel. You'd get vehicles. Yeah. And like, although the travelling in your vehicle would just be a loading screen, effectively. Like that's all it was used for. Like you could move to different places, but you'd be shown driving a vehicle, and that was the loading screen, which at the time was very innovative. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that was quite a big thing. Other than that, I don't really remember much of the game. I remember, because I was quite young, I created my family in the game, like me, my brother, and my parents. And something went horribly wrong, and the house caught on fire, and we all burned to death.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and it was funny because what I remember was I thought, okay, I'll just reload a save, and it turned out that I'd accidentally saved while we were all burning to death. So every time I saved, it just loaded up a game where we all were just burning and we died.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh yeah, but it was hilarious. Oh
no.
Fudge! God damn it! But yeah, I always laugh about that when I think about it. So, what do you think? Like, tell me your views on The Sims 2, Jamie.
Oh, The Sims 2 was brilliant because you did have like the better graphics, which made it a much better experience to play. And then they started going into more of the storyline of your family. So you got like the different age groups that you could experience. And with expansion packs, they started adding like a university experience, which gave you a new life stage called young adult.
Nice.
So it allowed you to play more with your families and get more like a real life experience.
Oh, that's cool. Because I think this one had something like, with all the expansions and stuff, you eventually had like 7, something like 6.
That's a generator.
No, jump on the generator and you'll see why. No.
Yeah, but now we have to run away to heal you.
I don't care. I want to do something in this recording.
Right, sit.
Sorry. They had something like 6 or 7 different age groups in this one, didn't they, compared to the first one?
Something like that.
Which is a massive, massive change from the first of just having like 3, because they eventually became very old and stuff as well.
Oh yeah, you had like, I don't think you had elders in the original Sims. I could be wrong, but I don't think you did. But in this one, you could go from like a baby to a toddler to child, teen, young adult, adult, and then elder. So
yeah, see, that's quite a lot, which is cool. Right, I'm going for him. Keep a lookout.
Go in, I'll distract you.
But yeah, and I mean that's cool. That's quite a lot, and I think that is good.
Mhm. Hello there.
Hey, I assume he's chasing the other dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to Sims 3.
Mhm.
Sorry, I lost my focus there for a moment trying to run away. So Sims 3, this was released in 2009.
Mhm.
Now this one really, once again, it kicked things up big time, didn't
It
it?
did
So if
indeed.
that guy goes on a hook, he's dead. Just so you're aware.
Oh.
Now this one actually upped it once again, because instead of having all your loading screens and stuff, this featured an open, seamless neighborhood, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, so... Oh, run. Normally, when you're in a lot, you would, if you want to travel anywhere, you would have to go for a loading screen, whereas on this, the whole town, neighborhood was open, so you could just zoom out and go and check out any other places, and you could see Sims walking around the world as you was in your home, kind of thing.
That's cool.
And with that, they also added the fact that other families could age even though you weren't playing them.
Yeah. That's so your
family
Sims kind of
yeah.
aged with others then.
Yeah, yeah. So you could have like a childhood friend that you'd end up marrying or things like that.
That's pretty awesome. And how did the seamless neighborhood have an effect? Like, did it help? Because obviously it took away loading time, so was there any issues with it, like lag or anything?
It was definitely laggy. I think it didn't matter how good your computer was, you was gonna have some sort of issue with lag.
That's a
To be
shame.
totally honest. Because you can picture like your whole neighborhood just carrying on at the same time you're in your house, so it's having to deal with all of that. Whereas before, your household would be the only like place loaded.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I could see how that would get a bit laggy.
Mhm.
And was there anything else to it? Like, what about expansions? How were they? I found the hatch.
Oh no. The expansions in The Sims 3 was probably some of the best, especially because you got a lot more of them.
Yeah.
So you had like your university, the same as before. You had pets, which you also had in The Sims 2, but that added like a whole new thing to it. It was the first time they added supernatural, so you had like your vampires, your werewolves, and your zombies popping up.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome.
It was good. They added seasons, so you now had to deal with like the summer being too hot and snow and all that jazz, which was again a pretty cool addition.
Nice. So it definitely sounded like they once again took sort of the original idea from the previous game and just gave it a massive oomph.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is cool. So then we move on to The Sims 4. Now this was released in 2014. Although I won't lie, it feels like it was sooner than that.
Yeah, it does. Oh. Did someone flashlight him?
Must have done. Wasn't me though.
Oops.
So yeah, it does feel like it was more recently than that. Sorry, not sooner. So I know like nothing about The Sims 4. So what did they do for changes between those two?
Well, again, they took it back from the open world of The Sims 3 because of the lag issues, and they made it again back like The Sims 2, where you have your lot loaded and you'd have a loading screen to go to other places. But they did an in-between where in your lot you'd still have kind of maybe a park next door or a pond that was still open to your lot where other Sims would come and hang out. So it's kind of the best of both worlds they decided to do.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. They also changed it so that expansion packs aren't the only things you can get anymore. They still do expansions, but right now we only have 3 of them. But they've added game packs, which are kind of a happy medium between a stuff pack, which simply adds items and clothing, and an expansion, which adds a lot of gameplay. So it's cheaper to buy, you know, less memory, all that jazz. They can get them out quicker, but it still adds like good bits of gameplay here and there, something different.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I don't know what he's doing.
No, I don't.
If she goes back on a hook, she is dead.
Maybe he's given us a chance to pick her up.
I feel like that's what he's doing. He's going for it, I think. No, he's definitely camping her. So there are a lot of spin-off games and things when it came to The Sims.
Yeah.
Here's me just listing a few. Now you had The Sims Online, you had The Sims Stories, The Sims Carnival, Medieval, Social, Mobile, The Sims Era 1, 2 and 3, you had My Sims, you had The Sims Free Play. So there were quite a few. Did you play any of the spin-off games? Or
I played The Sims Castaway Stories, where
Nice.
you are washed up on an island trying to survive. And what else did I play? I played The Sims Bustin' Out, which was, I think, one of the first console games that came out.
That's pretty cool. What happened in The Sims Bustin' Out?
You basically start off living with your mum, and you basically want to get a job and get promoted all the way to the top, and each time you get promoted and you complete certain goals, you can move out of the house you're in and move into a different house and kind of move up in the world.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good one. And I also played the Herbs Sims in the City, which was a really fun game.
And what was this? What was that one?
That was, you're basically in like this urban city that has all different districts. Each district has its own like kind of people and fashion and music and all that, and you have to get like a good reputation in all these different places. Again, just to kind of get yourself up in the world.
That sounds pretty cool. He
had
got me.
black eyed peas in it too, which is always fun.
Had the black eyed peas.
It did indeed.
As you
like
do.
everywhere you went, it had the music playing from the Black Eyed Peas. Will I Am was like kind of your guide throughout the game, telling you what to do and stuff.
As you do.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing. Oh, that's cool. So what would you say your favourite Sims game was?
If we're talking about spin-off game, then the Herbs. But if we're talking about just Sims in general, I'd have to say The Sims 3 for now. Because even though it was laggy, like you had the most expansions, so you had so much stuff. Oh, how you did not know I was there. Yeah, and the graphics I thought was kind of really different in The Sims 3 to how it had been before.
Nice. That's
We
pretty
are
cool.
all dead.
Yeah, that's an interesting turn of events here, isn't it?
Yeah. We was doing so good.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. And what was your favourite expansion, if you can remember them all, over all the games I'm talking?
I enjoyed Pets, to be honest, because, I mean, I'm an animal lover anyway, but I think it was just fun because they added like horses, so instead of travelling to places in your car, you could jump on the back of a horse and just ride there and stuff. It was brilliant.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty jokes. Nice. Awesome. And there was one final thing. There were challenges, aren't there? Not within game, but like in the same way like the Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge, like set by fans. There were kind of challenges like that, aren't there?
Yeah.
Can you maybe just explain a couple of these challenges?
Yeah, so you'd have like the 10 generation challenge, which you basically just want to get to 10 generations of your sim family. You'd have, I can't even remember the names of it because I don't know what this killer's doing right now.
I think he's trying to take you to the trapdoor.
Well, that's what I thought, but he was just circling me. You'd have the runaway challenge where you start being, you don't have a home, you don't have money, and you want to survive. Oh no, I'm on a hook.
Nice.
You'd have the 100 baby challenge, kind of speaks for itself.
That sounds intense. Is that literally 100 babies at one time, or
100 baby. Well, I
or
don't
just
know.
in general, like one couple, 100 babies, as long as it takes, kind of thing?
I think it's just you start with one woman, like you're not even a couple, you have to meet men and have babies with them. But yeah, I think it was just 100 babies in general kind of thing. Like you didn't have to have them all at one go because that would be insane.
That would be nuts to try and look after.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, well, fair play. Well, I mean, I can't deny that Sims is a big franchise and that a lot of people love The Sims. I've never really gotten into them. I personally struggle with games that don't have like an end game to them.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a while to even get into sort of Dead by Daylight, but I'm okay with it because there is an end to a degree. Like, it is done in kind of rounds, so it's not just one endless seam of never ending. Like, I find when I play games, I don't like my enjoyment to just fizzle out when I get bored. I like to be able to finish the game and have that sense of finishing with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't deny that The Sims is a big franchise and it is good, and it is a good franchise. It is, it has done well, and it was an awesome idea, you know. Like, it's something that no one had done, and they had pretty much come along and built it from the ground up, and it's still going strong today, and I can imagine it's still going to go for a long time yet. Obviously there's the side games, things like Sim City and stuff like that, which get created, which are massive games. People love those. But yeah, I think that's a good place to call it. So I'd like to say thank you to Jaime for joining me today and
Thank you for having me.
informing me of the Sims franchise. Anyone out there, I would love to know your thoughts. Do you like The Sims? What do you like about The Sims? What draws you to The Sims? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys, and turn on notifications, and you'll know exactly when new content is being uploaded.
Woo.
It's all exciting over here. Always busy over here. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Take it easy, guys.